Business opportunities in the MENA region. Well, I think at the moment, as a firm, we're finding that there's a significant number of inquiries. I mean, I think, and all of my colleagues in the industry, I think, would agree that since the middle of last year, with the announcement of 2022 or 2020, there have been a number of inquiries for some tremendously interesting pieces of architecture. Not that there's ever been a shortage of inquiries in the Middle East, but we're finding that the opportunities are genuinely real. They're projects that have some legs and projects that will, kind of go through to completion without too many interruptions, which is quite unusual for the Middle East. It's extremely important. We are a UK firm who are growing globally. We made a strategic decision about 8 years ago to look at establishing ourselves in the Middle East, in India and in China. And each of those regions for us has sustained steady but quite significant growth. And all of those three new locations are underpinning our portfolio to an increasing degree. In the Middle East region generally, we're working on a number of quite interesting projects at the moment, working on large-scale retail, residential-led, mixed-use projects in Abu Dhabi, cultural projects and restoration projects in Abu Dhabi as well, which is very, very interesting and quite unique. Education projects across the region in Qatar, in the UAE, Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Sharjah. A whole host of projects across many of our core sectors. I think we face unique challenges working in the region for sure, but I don't think that is peculiar to the UAE. I mean, it's the same challenges that we face working in other global locations. But I think you have to learn and understand business culture and adapt. And I think firms who are successful here are very, very good at listening, understanding local business culture, and being adaptable, flexible, and very, very nimble. That's an absolute prerequisite for success, for sure. I think that there is far more focus, encouragingly so, on creating places, genuine places for people. And I think there are some very, very good examples, and an increasing number of very, very good examples of buildings and developments in the UAE in general, particularly Abu Dhabi and Dubai, that give something back to the people of the city. Well, as a firm, I think we've made some significant strides over the last 10 to 20 years, but there is a long, long way to go. I mean, it's something that we, as a firm, have focused on for some considerable time. I think we're quite fortunate in our culture that probably our technical staff are split maybe 60-40. A percentage that isn't reflected in our leadership, but really does need to be, and it's something that we're very, very conscious about and are making, kind of strides to address that very issue. Why did I? That's a very, very good question. At school, I had a break after my A-levels. I really didn't know what to do, and I really fell into architecture. My mother found an advertisement in a local paper for an architectural technician role in a small practice, which I secured. And realized within 6 months that it was something that I really aspired to doing. So I promptly resigned and went to university and studied to be an architect, and have loved the vocation ever since, and it is very much a vocation. Very, very challenging and very, very demanding, but it's something that I would encourage others to take up, for sure. I think it's very important, and I think today's been a great forum. There's been some very, very interesting discussion, intelligent discussion, and I was just saying to colleagues that, and I think we all reflect on the same things when we come to attend events of this nature, that it's always difficult to find the time. Working in the UAE is always very, very challenging. Your time is under tremendous pressure, but it is so important, so vital to take time out to attend forums of this type. It's very refreshing, it's very rewarding, and it's always very, very thought-provoking. Absolutely, thoroughly enjoyed it. It's been very informative. Definitely. I was just talking to Jassim. This is the first time I've actually attended the event. Colleagues have attended in the past, but there is an open invitation, so I will be glad to accept the invitation for next year's event, for sure.